All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Bill Powers. I am the president of the Bluegrass chapter of the International Institute of Business Analysis. And also presenting with me is Aaron Whittenberger. He also is part of the executive board for a couple different positions with the chapter. What we want to talk about today is an introduction to the business analysis career. Both Aaron and I are business analysts, senior business analysts with an insurance company up in Cincinnati, Ohio. But so we want just, I guess, explain a little bit about what a business analyst is, and really part of how it also includes business um, data analytics, business data analytics. But so for the most part, though, at the highest level, the business analyst, as you can see, is a trusted advisor to the business executives. Let me scoot down here. And this is the intro slide. Again, my name is Bill Powers and Aaron Whittenberger. And the business analyst. So what we do, we are in charge of the practice of enabling change in the context of an enterprise by defining needs, recommending solutions, and delivering value to stakeholders. What does that mean? I mean, it's a mouthful. What it means is that we are responsible for confirming and documenting what has to happen, confirming the need, confirming that everyone is on the same page, understanding in the project world what all has to happen on specific projects. We are responsible for everyone understanding the why, the what, the how, and the value. We work side by side with all different stakeholders, but ultimately we are reporting up to the executive that is sponsoring the project. So we work in all different roles, all different industries. So you can see here my third bullet. We deliver a variety of perspectives, including but not limited to agile, the business architecture, business intelligence, information technology, and most of all, process improvement. That's what we really specialize in, is making sure that processes are the best that they can be. The business analysts we deliver in many industries. Honestly, I've not seen an industry yet that we don't play a value. Education, finance, insurance, healthcare, IT, government, manufacturing, retail services, utilities. The best part about the IIBA, I have to say, is not only are we're not all necessarily business analysts. It's a variety of roles that come together because most people do business analysis, sometimes indirectly in their role. And so the best part about the chapter is when we collaborate. You have people from all different industries and sometimes, like I say, from different roles. And you're able to get a lot of different perspectives out of that.
And then this particularly handsome guy just pulled down everything that Bill just said and has this quote to say, business analysis in its core is about enabling change within the organization. So this gives you a little more idea of our day-to-day work as business analysts. So as Bill was describing, we work on projects. I work in an agile environment where it's not really projects, but I have a product or a system, actually four of them, that my team supports in that. And we work together, collaborate together on the features that we're going to introduce to that, fixing bugs in the system. and things like that. So we collaborate highly. Agile is a very highly collaborative environment to work in, but the little semicircle down there at the bottom left, kind of gives you an idea of the things that a business analyst gets involved in. From primarily we do requirements that gets into the why and the what that Bill was talking about earlier. We collaborate with people, we elicit information. Elicit means to draw out, so often, stakeholders do not come to us with a fully formed idea or that they really understand the true problem they're trying to solve. And we get down to that and defining the why. Why does the enterprise need to change? And then we work with the team to enable that change in that.
So, what is the IIBA? What we're here representing today. The International Institute of Business Analysis, it's a global organization for the advancement of business analysis profession. So for over 20 years, it's helped shape the practice of business analysis to achieve better business outcomes. What does all that mean? That means that the best practice has been captured from practitioners in project management and business analysis from going back many years with several people that have contributed to it. And it's been documented, tools, techniques, mostly so that you're not reinventing the wheel every time. But every project's a little different. So sometimes you use multiple tools and techniques together. Sometimes you have to tweak it a little. You do what is necessary for each situation. But the IIBA is headquartered in Toronto, Canada, established 2003. We have 30,000 members, 120 chapters worldwide, 1,500 volunteers, and 500 partners. We enable networking and community engagement. We provide those foundational standards and resources. And we offer internationally recognized certification program for career advancement. This is really an important part that we'll want to talk more about because any type of certification that you can have associated to your name tells people before they work with you that you've already been immersed in it and you've passed certain checkpoints for a recognition so that they know that you care enough too about your career that you are actually fine-tuning that skill set.
And what you were describing there, Bill, or what that slide said about achieving better business outcomes ties back to your title page there about the trusted advisor. Through our analysis, we provide the information for business decision making, and management and executives of the enterprise rely on business analysts to provide that information so they can make informed decisions in that. So it's either information or data. A lot of us work with a lot of data. So we help them make better business decisions because they're more informed.
Yes, we bring a lot of clarity to the project, and it allows the sponsors to lean on us, whether it is doing an analysis to confirm the root cause, all the way to where we will do an RFP to determine what is the best product out there that we should select. So also going back to the different certifications, we have for business analysis, there are 3 tiers that are out there and that actually are specific to business analysis. And it starts with an ECBA. Then after you have experience, and the ECBA is very entry level, you don't need any experience to do it. What you do need is to have certain a certain amount of educational hours that are typically provided through study groups or boot camps, something that we currently offer. And then it's sitting in a proctored virtual exam. It's a couple hours long. And when done, then you earn that certification and recognition as an ECBA, which of course are letters that would go after your name. There are two other levels after that that do require experience in your career, and you need to apply to actually take the exam for those. There are also some additional that, such as here, the Guide to the Business Data Analytics, the certification of data business analytics, and which is probably the one that this group would probably be most interested in, but I want to make sure it's understood also. We have others as far as our Agile extension for certification. Agile is a methodology for project management. And so this is focused on from the BA's perspective of the role that they play and how to utilize the tools and techniques for that. We also have for product ownership, but I want to spend a lot of time on those because really this is the main one. Oops, sorry, I jumped ahead. This is the main one that we want to talk about, I think, because between business analysis and business data analytics, I think that's what this audience would be interested in. The primary difference between the two is that business analysis is using tools and techniques, but is also doing a lot of communicating, versus business data analytics is using data as far as uncovering information, telling data story, and ultimately delivering recommendations.
Okay. And as Bill said prior, you'll find business analysis or business analyst in many different industries and at many different levels within the organization. We help with strategy within the organization and aligning higher level strategic goals with the initiatives that the enterprise is undertaking. But don't think that you have to have the business analyst job title. You know, I tell people that I meet and everything, I had my CBAP, which is that very high, it's for the seasoned business analyst certification that Bill was just talking about. I earned that before I ever had the title of business analyst. So it's possible, and this slide here is from IIBA. It shows you the many different job titles that a business analyst or somebody within the organization who is doing business analysis can have. So under our business data analytics, you can see many of the titles of people that work with data, and data analyst is just one of them. And there's many, like I said earlier, I work in Agile. So I'm an Agile business analyst. And you can see the multiple, just different job titles that business analysts can have. And as Bill was kind of alluding into, there is a difference between business analysis and business analytics. So in that communication area that Bill was talking about is a major factor of it. You know, there's a lot more people working with people, eliciting information, and working collaboratively with others that business analysis entails in that. With business analytics, they can get into some of that and that, but they do a lot more work with data. And they're going to use Tableau and Python and Excel and, you know, the other tools of, you know, turning data into insights and to help inform decision making within the organization. It does data visualizations, make dashboards, and things of that nature.
And so here, certifying for your future, again, as we were talking about, the certifications, and the ECBA mid-tier for BAs is the CCBA, and also as Aaron was mentioning, the senior level is the CBAP, and then down here we have the other certifications. And so the possible benefits, it's greater fulfillment at work, greater confidence, maybe higher pay, likely, but we're not supposed to that. Maybe a promotion. The reason that we're actually kind of focused on this is that we have sort of a mission, that we have a goal that we have set for ourselves, is for students that come out, especially with a degree in business data analytics, if they were also to come out with an ECBA certification, it's going to set you further ahead and it'll put you at the top of the pile, shall we say, of your competitors, that if you can have that. Outside of that, even better, though, it's showing you, again, best practice. So anybody that's really in the business world is already doing some business analysis. And so this is going to be exposing you to doing best practice.
So is this yours?
No, it's yours. I'm sorry.
So last year, the IIBA introduced a student membership. And so basically, you can join the IIBA for less than half of what Bill and I pay to be a member of the chapter. And here in the United States and Canada, it's $65 for 1 year of IIBA membership. You do have to be a full-time enrolled student in an accredited college or university. And you can have this level of membership for 2 years. And then you go to the full professional level that Bill and I have. So this is how IIBA is supporting your generation and helping getting people into business analysis career. And we really wanted to have this introduction and discussion with you today, and that because it is very hard for people to understand business analysis or know that that is a career option. Because even today, many colleges and universities do not have a degree in business analysis. And many of them don't have even a curriculum or even classes in business analysis. So it's not something you can you could easily learn that that's a career choice for you. You could see data analytics, because many of you are going for that data analytics bachelor's degree. But like I said, many colleges and universities don't have a bachelor's degree in business analysis. And that'll change over years. But today it is very hard for students that are going through high school and college to even know that this is a career choice. And Bill and I will tell you that, and many of today's professionals that are business analysts, it's like a second or third career for them. I was a developer before. My degrees are in accounting. So I started in accounting, was an accountant for 3 years, and the company I was working with was a freight company. They decided to go to an IBM mid-range computer, and my manager was the CFO. He noticed that I liked working with computers, and he goes, "You want to head up this project?" And I said, "Sure." So switched to IT and really just have not looked back. So became a developer after that. And then when that work was trying to kind of drying up and everything, I had to look for somewhere else to go. And that for, my future career. And got opportunities at a consulting company I was with at that time. Got 3 seats into a business analysis boot camp. And the first thing I asked is, what is business analysis? And then I started researching and, came across what is business analysis, what do business analysts do, came across the IIBA and their certification program. looked at the requirements for the CBAP, and I kept just checking off. I've done that. I've done that. I've done that. And to this time, I never had the business analyst job title and that. So, and at that time, I had worked with one business analyst in my entire career. So I went to the boot camp, and 6 months later, I had the CBAP, and I went through. It took me 2 years to transition from getting developer gigs to getting business analyst gigs. So, any business analyst that you come across, working in business, they'll have a similar story to tell that, they didn't get into business analyst first. That was a later career and everything. And many of us got here that way. So I've worked with business analysts that have all kinds of different degrees in that. Like I said, mine's in accounting, bills, and communications,
Marketing.
marketing. See, I worked with one business analyst who had a political analysis degree, and so there's no one path to get there. And we come from all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of different educational backgrounds. There's no one path to get to it. Mhm. So on this one thing we want to encourage you to do is start working on your career now before you graduate. And you can start homing your career and it doesn't take a lot of time. It's certainly something we don't want you to take away from your education and your duties there at Western Kentucky University. But you could start networking with people, start attending Bluegrass IIBA chapter events. Um, and get in there. There's learning opportunities. There's networking. We open all our chapter meetings with 30 minutes of networking just so we can connect. And we always have a remote attendance option to all of our events, study groups, professional development events, chapter meetings, webinars. They all have a remote attendance option. We will always have that in the future. But you could start, rubbing elbows with practicing business analysis practitioners that are out there. And you never know that, you'll be in a job interview trying to get your first job, and somebody will say to you, I saw your name on a Bluegrass IIBA chapter event. You've attended those in the past. So it'll give you something to talk about, and they recognize you've put some dedication into starting your career early. And then, as Bill was describing earlier, and we are really going to encourage people to graduate college with your degree and the ECBA. The ECBA is the entry certificate in business analysis. You can also get our CBDA, or certification in business data analytics, even before you graduate. And as Bill described earlier, you put that on your resume that you're your ECBA and just getting out of college, and that your resume can go to the top of the pile. My manager just told me that in a meeting just a couple of days ago, and that we are actually interviewing for business and analyst contractors. And she's looking through resumes, interviewing people and that. And she said in the meeting, if I see a resume and it's got CBAP on the top of it or on that resume, it's going to the top of the pile. And it's one way to set yourself apart from the crowd. And if a hiring manager gets 50 resumes for one job position that they had posted, one way you could set yourself apart and possibly get to the top of the pile and not end up in file 13 is to have those letters ECBA or CBDA after your name. And it really just shows prospective hiring managers that you've got a level of dedication to your career, that you've already gone out and got those certifications. So we wanted to give you this. So that does give you a link to our website, which is bluegrass.iiba.org. If you hit that QR code, it'll take you to a form to subscribe to our newsletter and our communications that are coming out from our chapter. It'll tell you all the news that we have going on, all the events. If you go out to our events page, we are averaging 6 to 7 events for our community to come to every month. And I know I just did March, and that we're going to have 12 events in March. So that's a lot of variety. It's all kinds of different topics and different formats and of events and everything. And we just put a lot out there. Not everything is for everybody. Find what's interesting to you and attend those. But you can subscribe to our newsletter, get our communications, keep an eye on our events page and see what we got going on. As I said earlier, we'll always have a remote attendance option. So you don't have to go to, anywhere else. Louisville, we got branches in Louisville, Lexington, and Northern Kentucky. And yeah, Bill, I did want to say, Bill mentioned earlier that we both work for an insurance carrier company in Cincinnati. But we also work remotely 100% of the time. Bill is actually in Louisville, and I'm in Independence, Kentucky. So we don't live in Cincinnati or anything, and we don't go into the office anymore. So one of the side effects of the pandemic that we recently had, and our company is actually now hiring from across the country, or not the country, yeah. So we haven't gone international yet, but all across the United States, some of the latest BAs that we have hired are in Atlanta, Georgia, or Missouri. Got them from Maryland and Virginia. We got some in California. So, getting used to remote work is, a challenge. And something that is here for our future.
If I could add also, we
Yep.
also we're also a lot in the office. That's actually one of the areas right now. The current situation is something that really kind of morphed out of COVID. But one of the things that I wanted to make sure we communicate, one of the best parts about the Bluegrass is the opportunity to start to immerse yourself in it, to start hearing the jargon, to start using the jargon, by listening and participating in the presentations. You'll hear that, and also the chapter also provides lots of opportunities to even get involved, and that's committees, different planning, board positions. There's lots of stuff. And the best part about all of that, especially for a college student, is for things that are professional that you could put on your resume. Mostly so, because that, I can tell you, I know from once upon a time, we too were undergrads. Coming out of school, your resume is full of education stuff you've done, but not a lot of professional. And what is it that companies are looking for is typically, do you have any real experience? This is an opportunity that it also, you can say, yes, I actually do. I have worked with the Bluegrass, and we've developed and implemented a convention or different presentations. It's something that you can get involved in and you can be part of. You could even help develop the chapter as far as something like communications or marketing, uh, stuff that you can, well, and then of course, business data analytics. We actually have a study group that we put on. It's coming up in April that is specifically for business data analytics for that CBDA certification. And part of what we do there is using data to try and forecast who's going to win the Kentucky Derby based off of data going back many years, looking for trends and finding out and determining what is the secret sauce there. Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
Nope, that's all right. Let's just open it up for any questions. So
Yeah,
either in the room there with Dr. Wu or anybody online, you could put them in the chat or come off mute and um, ask us with your voice. How does IIBA membership help working professionals stay current with the evolving industry? You want to take that, Bill?
I'd love to. How does it help them stay current? Is because our presentations are all about the state of the art, the hottest topics, the hottest tools, techniques. The IIBA also global, they offer lots of different resources that are free, some cost, but also they have lots of specific presentations that are about the newest tools and techniques. So the best part too is that again, you're collaborating with people from all different industries. So all different experiences, all different levels of experience. And so that's where the real power of it comes into play is that you're able to say to people, hey, I'm working on this project, or hey, I have this situation. Have you guys ever run across anything like this? And the best part about the BAs, I have to tell you, is that they love to help. They will talk your ear off. They will give you tools. Let me send you some material that I ran across or that I produced for a presentation. uh, I think that is probably the best part about it. The specifics of, hey, I've got something I'm working on with Python, and I'm struggling a little bit about this, or Power BI, or any of that. Does anyone have any experience with that you could help me? Um, Anything like that.
And I think the greatest example of that is artificial intelligence. Has anybody heard of that? ChatGPT and all the others.
That is
Um,
the hot one right now.
that is today's hot topic in many industries and professions, including business analysis. And how is AI going to affect business analysis? And when AI was first introduced a couple of years ago and that or became very popular, a lot of anxiety out there is, is it going to take my job? And the short answer is no, it's not going to take a business analyst job because AI doesn't do everything. It needs that professional to look over the results from AI and determine if it's appropriate. But being able to work with AI, creating large language models and things of that nature. On March 4th, we're having an event in the evening. It's called BA Book Nook. We have one of the great mentors in the BA community, whose name is Angela Wick. Just recently wrote a book about enabling change. It's called Future Proof is the name of the book. We're having her come in, and one of our chapter leaders will have a conversation with her about that book, why she wrote it, what she wants business analysts to get out of it. But it talks about the intersection between AI and insightful business analysis. And then on March 6th, we're having another event at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. for y'all. Um, but it's our lunch and learn. And we got another mentor from the global business analysis community coming in. She's actually from Australia. That's why we're not doing it at noon. We got to give some time for her to, that's in the middle of the night for Esta Lessing is her name. And she's coming in to talk about AI and how business analysts can use AI to do their work more efficiently.
One
So,
thing I'd like to also point out, I think that I know that we haven't really said it specifically, but one thing that I absolutely love about our chapter is that we have members all around the world. It just amazes me when you're in presentations and you're seeing people from Asia, Africa, Europe, and they're all members of our chapter because we were one of the real first, we were the pioneers of the virtual chapter, even though we have a in-person presence a lot of time. But because we have the flexibility of the virtual and our presentations are mostly free, there is no downside to being part of them because you're learning new subjects, you're learning details that maybe you hadn't heard before, and top it off, also the jargon. The sooner you immerse yourself in the AI jargon and understand the complexities, as I'm sure you all are very aware, the governance and the constraints, the better. Because yes, as Aaron mentioned, it's not going to replace jobs because it's still very much in its infancy stage, and the governance of it still needs to be very strong. But I think most companies right now they're mostly trying to figure out how do we use this, how do we harness it, and most of all, how do we guarantee that what it's saying is correct. So, but yes, that's the best part about our chapter is the exposure you get to several people, people from other countries and cultures.
and another question, what are some of the skills and certifications are required in order to get into a business analysis field? So one thing I would say that is very useful in becoming a business analyst is to have a very innate curiosity. We're all kind of born with that. When you're 5 years old, you're always asking why. Later, when you become adult, a lot of people suppress that innate curiosity. You are going to be talking about things that you don't understand right now, and being able to ask the question why, and be able to ask it 5 times in different ways. So you're not always saying why, and somebody asks you if you're 5 years old. Um, but an innate curiosity as far as other skills, working with people, you have to be comfortable working with people. Now, I've always considered myself an introvert. So you can be an introvert and still be a business analyst. But you do have to be comfortable working with other people as well as have the ability to go out and do a little task on your own. And so if you always need guidance in that, you're not going to rise up the scale into a senior level position or anything of that nature. So collaboration, and then there's all kinds of diagrams and models that we create to kind of explain things to business and IT technical stakeholders. So being able to, and it's not draw, we use Visio quite a bit, and there's many other tools that we can make diagrams, process flows, data flow diagrams, things of that nature. So those are some of the skills we use every day. But more than anything, communication and collaboration. So, Dr. Wu, did you get the answer on that AI changing the role of business analysis?
Yes,
So,
thank you for sharing.
really, I see the big difference there is, being able to work with AI and not be challenged by, is it going to take my job? But now you're getting input from not a person. You could think of it as another stakeholder But also prompt engineering, being able to ask AI the correct questions to get the responses you want. So working with AI, that's how it's going to change our profession. What is the cost of getting entry-level certifications you mentioned, and how long does it take to get them? You going to take that, Bill?
Well, actually, you might be better to answer that one because I can't say I
One
know what
thing I would say about it is if you're interested in getting either the ECBA or the CBDA, Business Data Analytics, become an IIBA member first and be looking to get both those certifications within the first year. There are discounts that IIBA members get on the certification fees and everything. So you're going to pay more if you're not an IIBA member. And as a student member, you get the same discounts as Bill and I get. And so become a member. We offer IIBA members discounts to all our study groups. And so you'll get discounts there and too. As far as total cost, it's like $400 or $500. Well, that's CBAP. Exact cost, and I don't think any of them are over $500. That'll include any or the application fee, the exam fee, any of that. Our certification study groups are $100 to $200, and you'll get like a 50% discount on that by being a student member. So if anybody's really interested in that student membership, can reach out to Bill or I. And we can put our email addresses in the chat, as well as you go out on our website. There's a board of directors page where the first two on there. Guess who they are?
Yeah.
Bill and me. And there's a little icon for email there, so you could email us right from there. And we could get you into, signing you up for student membership. We'll let you know all the upcoming study groups that we have coming up. We're in the middle of what we call our BABOK study group, which is for the ECBA. So that one's, already gone, but the CBDA starts in April and ends May 8th is when we take the practice exam. So we give a practice exam in all of our study groups, so you can gauge how ready you are to go take the actual exam. And I think you're talking, any of them could be between $300 to $600. And as student members, you will get, discounts on that. So none of it should be any higher than that or anything. So, and if you ever have cost issues in that you can't afford that, then talk to Bill and I, and we'll see what the chapter can do for you.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, me personally, the return on the investment for that has been substantial. The knowledge that you gain, and also just, I don't want to say prestige, but the fact that you're certified, it kind of sets you apart. But not even the certification, just the knowledge alone, I think, because again, you're learning best practices with lots of techniques and tools in business, how to be sure that you're delivering correctly, that you're including the right people in the decision. You want to make sure that you have all those stakeholders. But again, number one thing is that there's clarity on the project as far as what has to happen and when.
So next question is, how does the role of business analyst compare to that of a data scientist or data engineering? Do you have any recommendations for certifications or resources to help students prepare for these careers?
I'd be happy to take that one. I am a lover of data, so naturally I gravitated to the CBDA. It's something that I wanted to do right off the bat, but I knew that it would have been better to do the AAC and the CBAP, so I did those first. But to answer that question, what is the difference between the business data analytics, the business analyst, and stuff like data analyst and architect? The business data analytics it gives you the exposure, the understanding, more of at the entry level. It crosses into the intermediate. But again, what we are about is working with people and collaborating, and then using that data to do that, to tell the story, to be able to prove out a proof of concept, or to be sure that you're communicating with visuals for the clarity. The data analyst is going to take it that next step, and the architect is going to be somebody that is like the master of your entire network of tables. Not to say, though, that that doesn't lead to that, because it very easily could. You could very easily transition over into like a data analyst role if that is your desire. One thing about the business data analytics that I really liked is because as an introvert, that's sometimes how I recharge, is if I get to sit and play with data and produce visualizations to tell what I'm trying to communicate. But so the answer to the story, it is a transition, but for the business analyst, it's not, the focus isn't going to be so far in. You're going to be more presenting, like Aaron said, a diagram or a dictionary on the data, showing relationships of the data, how it all comes together, ultimately all the metadata, documenting it all. But in order to do that, you have to be able to understand what all that means. And so that is the transition.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about data scientists. I'm not really
Data
up on
science,
what they are in that, but
yeah.
my understanding is data engineering really, they will be more involved in helping the organization collect data or decide what data we're collecting, build into an app or a system within your organization on what data it's going to collect in that. A data analyst will take the results of that, the results that we are collecting of data, and turn that into insights and deliver that to management and executives of the company so that they can make business decisions. And then, so that was my understanding of what that difference is. So as far as certifications, I'd start with our certification in business data analytics. There are several others out there. There are some that are directly related to particular tools that you can use, like Power BI, Salesforce, other things like that. And I'm sure there are others out there that, I'm not really aware of. As far as certifications, Bill and I both have three that are from the IIBA. Bill is CBAP. We both are CBAP, and we have the Agile Analysis certification. Bill just mentioned he has the CBDA. I have the certificate in product ownership analysis from the IIBA. I have a few others that are Agile certifications that are not Agile business analysis, but just Agile from places like Scrum Alliance and IC Agile. Bill and I also have insurance certifications, and that is particularly right to the industry we currently work in. So we're kind of at time, I think. Did you have something, Dr. Wu?
I just have one more question.
Okay.
Because the students in this class, they are interested in jobs from different industry like healthcare, finance, even sport and music. So how does business analysis like differ across different industries? And do you have any like recommendations for students that's interested in some specific like area of business analysis?
Sure. So first of all, before we got here today, I went out and looked at what job postings we have on our website for our insurance company. And because I know earlier this year we were posting internships for students, and we're, often looking for IT, data analysts or data engineers and that. And I didn't find any postings that might be really good. There weren't any internships that were like earlier this year. I saw there was a data analyst internship and a developer internship that works with a lot of the data tools. So I would have told the student group about those. Other than that, you can look at, websites like that. Also get on any of those job search engines like Dice or Career Builder. And, you can filter exactly what you want to look for. So if you're looking for, data, a data analyst or data engineering job, or, in a specific industry, you can build the filters to look for exactly what you're looking for and see what job postings are out there that you might be able to do. And many of those job postings tell you if they're remote or not. So, you could be working for a company. We got somebody a member of our chapter that lives in Lexington that's working for a company out of New Orleans, Louisiana, so it's even a different time zone. We have a friend here that came and joined us today by the name of Thea Soren. You see her on the attendee list. She's in Missouri and she works for our company. And so she's one of those that we hired because we were 100% remote. And then, if you want to work for a company there, in Bowling Green or around that area, you can find those on those career websites as well.
Well, I could tell you also, based on my experiences, that a lot of times jobs are not posted, they're not advertised, but by going through networking, you will find those. And that is by speaking with people, just people at the companies. And you'll find these people at our events. By networking, a lot of times I can tell you for a fact, that's how I found my current position. But part of the question also was, how is it different between different industries as far as what can a business analyst do? And again, at the core of it all, we bring clarity to projects and to products by making sure that everyone is understanding of what the elicited requirements are, the scope, the objective, the constraints, that sort of thing. So it's a cross section, and every industry is going to be a little different. So there's going to have to be some acumen of the industry, but the business analysis side is about the best practice that is with everything. So when you merge those two, that's how you get the magic. So every industry, again, is going to be different, whether it's healthcare, which I could say I've been in banking, finance, and now insurance. So very different industries. The regulatory part of it is very different. The goals are different, but the business analysis at the core is always the same. And that's about using best practice and bringing clarity to every project as far as what's been done and what needs to be done.
And the networking portion of that is very true. recently our managers and we've seen it within our company in that I've passed resumes up to my managers. In the last 2 years, I've helped 4 people get their jobs at our insurance company. And our managers have told us that they prefer to get resumes and recommendations from our current business analysts. So if you're coming to Bluegrass IIBA events and you're networking with people that are there, you find people that are in an industry that you want to work in, and you're talking to them often, inside and outside of our events, and that pass your resume through them. If they pass it up to their manager, it's kind of the backdoor way of getting to the hiring manager. So that's a way to get in there, and many organizations prefer that. They want to know that somebody within their organization, somebody they trust, knows this person and is recommending them.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bill, for the presentation and
Thank you.
answering our questions.
All right. Any last minute questions before we go? It has been a true honor to speak to you today. Thank you all for coming and attending. We hope we've wet your whistle on the idea of a business analysis career. And it is an excellent career. I think I can talk for Bill, Thea, and myself that we thoroughly enjoy the work that we do every day. And we get a variety of people to work with, a variety of challenges to work on, those problems within the organization that we help define and help a team resolve those problems. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wolf, for setting all this up, and really appreciate all of your time today.
Thank you.